What is up, everybody? It's your boy Nick Noodles coming at you with another great video. Today we are discussing the top 10 sneakers of 2020. Before I get into that though, I want to give a quick thank you to everybody who watches these videos. 2020 has been a great year for this YouTube channel and for the streetwear and sneaker community. I am astonished with how all these companies have managed to deal with all the setbacks that 2020 has and just still push out a lot of cool stuff. It was very hard to make this list. There were so many good sneaker releases, and you know, my tastes are going to be different from everybody watching this video, so if I am capping on these selections, then let me know down below. Also, go ahead and drop like your top sneaker of the year or your top 5. You might as well go follow my Instagram at NickNoodlesYT. I already asked a bunch of my followers on there what they thought their sneaker of the year was, and it was really cool interacting with them, and some of y'all might have even seen some of my opinions from the answers that I replied to. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get in. So without further ado, before we get into the top 10, I want to go over a bunch of honorable mentions that aren't quite in my top 10, but I still think were very solid releases. First, we have the Fire Red 4s, just a super OG looking shoe, even though, you know, when this shoe first came out, I wasn't even into sneakers or even born yet, but it's good to be a part of history and a part of Michael Jordan's legacy when you put on those Fire Red 4s. We also have the Space Hippie lineup, mainly the 1 and the 3 model. I don't know why Nike keeps pushing out the Space Hippie 4 model because it is absolutely atrocious. I really like Nike's initiative to be more sustainable, push out cooler designs. I'm a big fan of like trainer looking shoes, so these were definitely one of my favorites of the year. We have the New Balance Salahay Bembury, I think is how you pronounce it. An insane New Balance shoe. The materials on it look crazy and the colors on it are also very nice, so definitely a great sneaker. Was pretty much impossible to cop manually though. I like all of the dunks they did in the university colors. Unfortunately, I have not gotten a single dunk this year. I did pick up these as a consolation prize from taking all the L's, so not quite the Dunk Low that released in this colorway, which I really wanted, but I'm super happy to own these, and it's one of my favorite pickups of 2020. We also have the Supreme Hole Punch Denim Vans. It's the best shoe that Supreme has pushed out this year, and definitely the best collab with Vans in a long time. Lastly, we have the Sacai Nylons. I just really like this shoe because it made the Sacai waffle a little bit more accessible to a lot of newcomers. The OG ones that released go for a lot of money, so when these released, the material was a little bit different and the stock was higher, so a lot of people were able to cop for a reasonable price if we took an L on these sneakers release. With all the honorable mentions out the way, let's go ahead and get into the top 10. At number 10, we have the Sean Wotherspoon and Asics Gel Light 3 collaboration. This is a great shoe and just screams Sean Wotherspoon. You can see he has his touch on it with the corduroy and all these super bright colors. This is the closest thing we're going to get to another Air Max 1/97. I don't know how Nike fumbled the bag and let go of him because that shoe is so iconic and so hyped up right now. I don't know how they let him go to Adidas and work with these other companies, but super clean pair. I like how you can change out the Asics logo with pretty much any color that you want to. I unfortunately was not able to get a pair, but it is what it is. There will always be more releases to look forward to. At number 9, we have the Stussy Nike Spirit on Cage 2, mainly in the Fossil colorway. It's one of the cleanest shoes to release this year. I think natural colorways have been popping off this year in 2020, and this is definitely one of the cleanest models. Apparently, this shoe is super comfy. I was not able to hit manually, but I will take people's word for it and believe that it is pretty comfy. The colorway is just so clean. The materials they use, the accents of Nike and Stussy all over the shoe are super clean as well. If I could go back in time and cop before it was like a $500 or $600 shoe, I definitely would, because we're likely not going to get something like this ever again. At number 8, we have the Yeezy 700 V3 in the Azureth colorway. Now, this is the loudest Yeezy that I've ever seen in my entire life. I love that baby blue colorway. And the 700 V3, you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of it when it initially released, but after they did the all black colorway, and especially this light blue one, I'm definitely a fan of those ones, and maybe in the future I'll cop. The resale prices aren't terrible on them. I think the OG colorway is going for a lot of money, but all Yeezys in the OG colorway always go for the moon. Very refreshing colorway and model, considering all the 350 V2s that they pushed out in the last 3 or 4 years. Speaking of the 350 V2, at number 7, we have the bread restock of the Yeezy 350 V2. I know what you're thinking, Nick Noodles, this shoe released in 2017 and it's not technically a new sneaker, but this video is top 20 sneakers that released in 2020, so I do think this is on my list mainly because it's my favorite 350 V2. I actually have one in my size right now. A guy in my cook group bought it a size 7 for me, and I was able to find someone locally and trade that size 7 for a 9.5. But I mean, this is just one of the most iconic Yeezys of all time. It's kind of crazy how people were paying thousands of dollars for these, and then 2 months later they restocked, and then the resale price tanked on them. I feel very bad if you didn't sell them in time or you waited too long to sell them, but this is just a super iconic colorway. Hopefully they don't restock this like 3 or 4 times like they did the Zebra, because I do like to have that exclusivity, but just a super clean release, and don't even worry about if you missed out on reselling, because one day these will definitely be a $1,000 shoe. Super iconic and definitely one of the best 350 colorways of all time. At number 6, we have the Union LA Jordan 4 collaboration. And like a lot of people, I was not a fan when I first saw the leaks of it. It looked off with the tongue stitched down. And I think a lot of people had that opinion until we saw that you could actually unstitch the tongue, and it looked like a normal Jordan 4. I was super salty I did not get a pair of these because it looked like a lot of manual users had success on the Union LA website. They did an excellent job of protecting against bots. I think all botters pretty much flopped on the release and manual users took the stock. So it's really rare to see that, and I'm glad that people were actually able to pick up a shoe that they wanted. I would definitely rock them with the tongue unstitched if I had them. And if I had to choose between that black pair and the guava pair, I would definitely pick the black pair because it fits my style a little bit better. But I could definitely see the appeal of that guava pair, and that one is, I think, a little bit more sought after and a little bit more limited because it was the Union LA exclusive colorway. It's not quite as good as the Jordan 1 they did, but I don't think anything is ever going to be as good as that. They kind of set the bar way too high, but this is definitely a unique shoe and definitely great for the people that wanted to cop a Union LA Jordan piece. At number 5, we have the Jordan 1 in the Mocha colorway, and this is honestly the best general release Jordan 1 of the year. The Court Purples and the Royal Toes don't even come close to it, even though I do like those shoes. The Mocha 1 is just in a league of its own. This is a shoe that is definitely going to be worth a lot of money one day, so if you are able to get a bunch of pairs, I would recommend, getting one to rock, one to stock, because in a few years, the one that you kept dead stock is probably going to be worth 3 or 4 times the value of what you paid for it. What do y'all think? Do you think this shoe would be as hyped as it was if the Travis Scott one didn't exist? The people that don't see the similarities in this shoe, I think, are definitely capping. There's definitely a little bit of resemblance, mainly between the material choice and obviously that colorway. At the number 4 spot, we have the New Balance 550 collaboration with Amy Leon Dore. I hope I pronounced that name right. But this is a shoe that went completely under my radar. I don't know how I didn't know about this shoe, but like a month after the release, I started seeing YouTube videos on it, and it's one of my favorite shoes of the year. It's just a super clean shoe with a lot of wearable colorways. I really wish I had gone for this manually because resale is a little bit higher on the pairs I would want. That green one and the red one are speaking to me. I might have to bite the bullet and just buy it next year. New Balance definitely had a really good year in 2020, and I'm excited to see what they do in 2021. At the number 3 spot, we have the Off-White Jordan 4 in the Sail colorway. And this is by far the best off-white shoe of 2020. I was not really a big fan of the Jordan 5. I like the darker one better than the Sail one they just did, but the Jordan 5 I just know would look so dumb on me because it's just kind of a chunky shoe and the tongue is just so fat on it. The rubber dunks I was not a really big fan of. I also didn't like how they did like exclusive colorways for each region of the world. I don't know if there were any more off-white releases, but the Jordan 4 in the Sail colorway is definitely one of the cleanest 4s of 2020. In my Fire Red 4 video, I actually said that that one was better than the Off-White one, and we all know that was cap. I was just saying that because I was salty I didn't get the Off-White 4s, but without a doubt, this is the best Jordan 4 of 2020. I will be honest though, I'm a little bit tired of Jordan and Off-White, so hopefully they can take stuff in a new direction, do some cooler models. At the number 2 spot, we have the Travis Scott Nike SB Dunk, and this is so high up on my list because this is the shoe that pretty much made the Dunk go crazy in 2020. I think Travis Scott had the golden touch on this shoe. There was a local skate shop like 2 hours away from me that literally got robbed of 3 pairs that they were raffling off. That is how hyped the shoe was. People were literally robbing stores at gunpoint for like a $2,000 shoe. It was absolutely insane. I really love the materials and the colors they chose for this shoe. Now, will Dunks be as popular in 2021 as they are in 2020? I personally don't believe so. If you just look at the resale prices of all the Dunks that have released lately, they really don't top the prices of Dunks that were releasing earlier this year. I think they're going to run the normal Dunk into the ground, but the SB Dunks should still hold a lot of value, and I have not owned a Nike SB Dunk yet. I've struck out on every single skate shop release, every single Shopify release, so hopefully in 2021 I can get a pair of the SB Dunks. But yeah, just a super iconic shoe. That shoe's going to be worth so much money in a few years. It could be like at what the Dunk level price is in 2 or 3 years even. At the number 1 spot though, I know y'all are going to be mad about this one, but I have to give it to the Jordan 1 New Beginnings pack. And really, it's just the red and white colorway for me that makes it my sneaker of the year. We've never seen a Jordan 1 in just a red and white colorway. I believe it is actually a player exclusive from when Jordan was playing. So the fact that this was released to the public, it was actually just like a shock drop in Chicago. But I was super salty. I couldn't even have a chance to cop this because I'm just a sucker for red and white colorways. And the fact that they did it on a Jordan 1 is just crazy. The other crazy part of this pack was that it came with the Airship, which has never been released to the public at all, I don't think. And a lot of people already know this, but some people may not. The Jordan 1 was not the shoe that got Michael Jordan fined in 85 or 84. It was actually the Airship in a red and black colorway. It wasn't the bread one. They kind of twisted the narrative, but it was just super cool to see that in my opinion, and this shoe goes for the moon right now. I think it's at like $2,000, so not a shoe I'm going to own anytime soon. I know by the time I'm able to afford it, it's going to be like $4,000 or $6,000, so you hate to see that. That pretty much wraps up my list though. I'm going to be making a lot more list type videos in the next few days, so definitely stay tuned for that. Again, let me know what your sneaker of the year was, and I hope to see you all on the next video.